Hello everyone, once again coming at you with another Asia session review. This one was from 15th to 16th of April, um, or the night before that, right? The Asia session of 16, let's say. Uh, the contest starting the session was that we had just SFP'd this 1 hour pivot with quite a nice reaction. But the higher time frame trend is bearish. So even though a scalp could be taken for an upper entry, the idea would be that we could actually take that low again or take internal liquidity. So this is all the markups that we did for that session, and I'm gonna go through several little details about it. Okay, so for example, this is the liquidity and the liquidity markup that I have about that 1 hour pivot, and this is the strong reaction that we had. First of all, on a move like that, you can always try to get in on fair value gaps like this, or in situations like this order block, for example, as a block itself as a potential support. I usually don't, because this is so counter trend, and in a best case scenario, this is never going to be a long-term trend, and you never really know up to which point it's going to react to. It could just reverse to a previous structural point. It could reverse to any of these breakers. It could reverse to any of these order blocks, any of these gaps. So the take profit is always a little more uncertain. So we don't usually do trades like this. But even if they were inside the Asian session, generally I like to let the Asian session do its own thing in the beginning of it, which it will generally take a high and low and then create a move. And this, anyway, this was still inside the New York session, so not of my best interest. First possible trade was done here with our reversal entry method, which is essentially based by a final damage W with a change of character and an order block left behind with the gap. So we have again, we have a gap inside this section, another gap here, and the order block on the bottom. Again, this is not something that I did, but just goes to show that this reversal method works a lot of times, especially after a reaction like this. You do have to have these conditions: a final damage, like a liquidity grab of a liquidity grab, a change in market structure, even if it's just a 1 minute, and while doing so, you have to do it with a certain amount of power and intention being shown, an FEG or multiple FEGs giving you that direction. This eventually took us up to here. For example, it's important to keep in mind that this is nice after a reversal, after a liquidity grab. In situations where you are in internal liquidity, you can have an example here that would fail, even though this had a reaction. This is an example of a reversal model that would fail. And the main reason that it did fail, I guess, is because we had equal highs here left to be taken. And also because if you compare these two lows over here, which is referring to this low, we on the change of character, we did a hidden bullish div. That's not something that you want to see on a reversal model, okay? Now, that eventually failed. We took liquidity again, came back to, this was a 5-minute order block. Um, and because we were still trending up, um, I decided to take this one based on this FVG and the order block reaction. For some reason, according to what I have on MXC, I closed the trade here. I'm not really sure why. Typically, I would target a high. Uh, Maybe I panicked after seeing this. I don't know. Uh, anyway, that's what I have recorded. Um, but then eventually, massive div. This was a 5-minute div actually. Change in market structure. The problem here is that it was so far away from each other, even especially for an Asian session, that I wasn't too sure of where to get in when I saw a reaction to this guy. And fortunately, we did another reversal model, so then it became kind of clear. My entry was based on this pivot, which you can consider as a whole order block, right? And we eventually came back to the FEG and started going down. I closed it where we also had equal lows, but this eventually took down much more than that. This I did 4.79 R on this, but it could have eventually be 12.75. One thing that we have been looking into lately is doing a one-to-one extension. And for example, in this case, it really came close. If I do it for the first retracement, then that as a TP idea is very interesting, but I wasn't doing this at the time. I'm just showing you as a possible idea for TPs in the future if you guys want to try it out on your own accounts. After that, typical reversal timing around 6 a.m., 7 a.m., around that time. And we eventually just continued this move into London. Moves like this, I want to give you some hints because when they happen, this is not my typical entry model for a reversal, but it's really relevant based on even 1-minute SFPs, right? And if you see that it's super strong, you have reasons to believe that it should go up, whatever it is, just start marking order blocks that have fair value gaps after them. Each order block provides you with a considerable entry, something to consider. So the idea would be basically draw every gap that you see and choose whatever pivot, whatever block that you have below the gap. Sometimes, as you know, it only reacts to the gap. In this case, for example, we have 2 of them. If you notice, after all this, for example, you do have a gap over there. If you were to take this, this would be a loss, of course, or maybe a break even if you didn't let it touch you more than once on your entry. But other than that, there are plentiful. There's a really nice number of possible trades that could have been taken here just following the trend, right? Again, one more here, and then I don't think we get more than that. Oh, we do, but I think this would have been. I'm sorry, let me just mark this out. Okay, this guy would have survived. I'm guessing that most people would get out break even on the second time that it comes back to it. And if you take this, you would get stopped out, apparently. But even after that, there was also this one. Trades like this, even if you lose 2, 3, whatever in a row, all of them easily do. All of these trades easily do 5R, maybe 10R. And it's maybe a matter of letting your first one run and then take either partials or much lower TPs from then on. So a possible idea would be something like this, and you have that high, so maybe you could target that high which would be the A. No, it's not the Asia High. I don't know if it ever got to the Asia High. Let's take a quick look. Apparently not. Apparently not. I mean, at least. Okay, apparently not. But we have this guy, right? Let's imagine that you target this guy, or let's imagine that you target just this liquidity because these highs are kind of stacked, almost equal highs. This as a base trade is 6.75. And for example, imagine you doing 2 to 1 on every others. Just as quick scalps, because every 2 to 1 that you make will cover 2 times this trade if it comes back for it, right? So this could be, that could be 2%, another 2%. Then this is a little bit bigger. Would still make the 2% starting there. In all honesty, probably wouldn't be doing this because we would do just the lower block, so just maybe not get triggered. And then this as another idea, another 2 to 1. Possibly if you target these highs on all of them, then this becomes kind of crazy, right? This becomes the type of growth on account that you wouldn't really expect to do in a day, much less in an hour or 2 hours. You wouldn't expect to make this much in 2 hours. If I'm supposing if you risk a fixed amount per trade, right, on your stop loss. In any case, this is what we did. Target these equal lows. This was already a really nice profit for the day. And again, guys, we have been doing live trading sessions every Asian session. I'm trying to look into being ready for the New York Open as well. So going 1 hour before London Open to bed and try to wake up for New York. But it's a little bit hard. It depends on my state and the ability to fall asleep fast, which is not my strongest feature for sure. But in any case, join us on Discord. We'll be glad to have you. We have a nice community, very friendly people, very helpful people, and I hope to be able to keep it that way for a long time. If you're eager to learn, if you're trying to find a group of people to trade with, yeah, that's what it was created for. So I'll see you guys around. Okay, till the next one. Bye bye.